for another episode of On the Air with Eric Thompson. We are podcasting here in downtown Conroe, Texas, historic arts and entertainment district. We have a special guest in the studio today. So we're kind of plowing some new ground here. This is the very first time that we have had an actual artist come and visit us here in Studio 4. Caleb Boles is in the studio today of Red Feather Tribe, singer, songwriter, and all-around interesting cat, man. Caleb, thanks for being in the studio.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, cheers. So here's the thing. Here is the deal. I actually first ran into you at a kind of a local venue here.
Yeah.
Saw you a little bit. When would it have been? I think it was in December. And
Yeah.
I had seen you out that night, and we had talked a little bit about getting you on the show, but you're a busy man.
Yeah, I think it was on Christmas, man.
I think it was. It was like right there. I felt like I had a Christmas buzz going on when I saw you, that sort of thing. So what's happened since then? So let me ask you this. Why is it that it took till the middle of February for me to get you on the show? Where you been, dude?
Man, I've been all over the place. We just got back off tour. Went to New York City.
How was that?
Man, it's different. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, you kind of have a unique look.
Yeah.
I mean, like, did you see any other folks in New York? Did you feel like you were
I stuck
unique?
out a little bit, man.
You got some
But
attention.
they're moving so fast out there. No one's really paying attention to what I'm doing.
So tell me, what were you doing out there? What was going on?
Man, we were on tour. Played at a place called Rockwood Music Hall. It's downtown Manhattan. It's a pretty cool place.
Nice.
Man, we went all over the place. So we went to New York, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Illinois.
You're playing dates at all these?
Yeah. Man, we went to Oklahoma, Nashville.
Oh, you did a proper tour.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Nice.
think where else we went, man.
So let me ask you,
We went all over the place.
So what was it? I mean, just curious. I know of like what your reception is kind of in the South, but
Yeah.
how are you received when you get further up north and in
Man,
different places?
They're great. I've been all over the West Coast, East Coast, and everybody likes it as far as I can tell. Yeah.
Kind of digging your stuff.
I dig it, man.
So when it says Caleb Boles and Red Feather Tribe, tell me about Red Feather Tribe. What
So
are you talking about?
that's my band, and it's made up of musicians from a lot of other different bands. But when I need a full band, I just pick them out of other bands and put
Right
them
on.
together, man. But I've had that band. I've had several different people in that band from the time I started it till now.
Sure.
So it's a different show every time.
Right on.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess I was about to say, is it that band? But is it whatever the incarnation of that band is? Is that what was on tour with you now?
Well, no. This last tour I did it with a guy named Zach Aaron, who's just Zach Aaron Band, and then a guy named Barrett Langford, who's in my band, and he's also in a band called Full Family Revival.
Tell me his name again.
Barrett Langford.
Right on.
And we just put a thing together, and we decided we were just gonna come up with a crazy name, so we called it the Life and Times of Melvin Cornbread. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
So it was a songwriting tour. It wasn't like we didn't have a jam band or anything. It was just three songwriters out there doing their thing, you know.
Wow. So
Yeah.
now that's interesting. That's a whole different take than just a front man in a band.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So what is that like, touring with those guys? And I don't mean like playing with them night and night, but what about the in-betweens? What's going on?
Oh man, a lot of drinking. We had a lot of time. We had a lot of good time partying. But those guys are great, man. That's one of the best tours I've ever been on.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really cool. A lot of interesting things happened. Just a lot of funny things happened, man.
Any you care to share in mixed company?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think Barrett would get too mad at me because it's pretty funny. But we were in Washington D.C. and we went to several bars around there. Went to a reggae bar, and we went to a comedy club, and we went to another bar, and they were doing karaoke in there, and we started drinking. And I told Zach that he was like, "I'm signing you up for karaoke." I was like, "Don't sign me up for karaoke, man." And so he said, "I'm signing you up. What do you know?" And I said, "Anything by Boys to Men." So he signs me up, and we can't find Barrett anywhere. We're looking for him. Like, dude, I gotta go because if we gotta stay here, I gotta sing Boys and Men. So I remembered about 30 minutes before that, I was walking around in that bar and I picked up a little baggie and it had a gummy bear in it. And I was like, I showed it to Barrett and I was like, look at this. And without even saying anything, he grabbed it and took and bit the head off of it. And I was like, dude, I found that on the floor. I said, you don't even know what that is? He goes, well, it tastes like weed. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah, keeping the fingers
We
crossed.
still don't know what it was because he was, when I found him, he was in the bathroom of the place fixing the toilet.
Nice.
We got out of there before I had to sing Boys to Men, but they did it to me again in Maryland, and I ended up having to do it. So.
Hey, that's great material. That bit the head off a gummy and kind of wandered out to do some plumbing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you guys played a lot of dates. I didn't realize it was, I mean, that's a lot of states you were talking about.
Yeah. We were gone for a month, had a show every night besides 3. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was, the longest gap in between was from, let's see, I think New York to Riverton, Illinois. So it was like 900 miles.
So, I mean, what are the logistics that go into getting that kind of, finding out what's en route from here? Or did you have to zigzag back and forth to make all of it?
We did a little zigzagging, but most of it was kind of planned out. Zach and Barrett are real good about, I guess being dad.
Right on,
exactly
right on.
how much it's going to cost us and exactly how much we're going to make and,
Right on, cool.
Top stuff. But they've been doing it for a lot longer than I have. I didn't do this all my life, so.
You just kind of look like you did.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So tell me, so you go out there, so someone, I was talking earlier, I was kind of putting the, tell me about Caleb Boles feelers out there, and someone was telling me about that you guys did something on vinyl. What is that?
Yeah, when we were in New York City, we did personalized vinyls, so we recorded songs and then went straight to vinyl. So every time we recorded something, we had to record it again and again and put a message in front of it. So it was like straight to vinyl, you know what I mean? So it's all personalized stuff we put out there. We may end up making some copies of it, but we'll see.
Interesting. That sounds really cool. So you were talking about 900 miles was the longest one in between. So if you guys did a show every night, I mean, when you average in factoring in sleeping and driving and setting up and taking down, I mean, that was pretty kinetic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was pretty crazy.
I can tell by the look on your face. It wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to you.
No, man. It was. I'm telling you, it's one of the best tours that I've been on in a long time. And I've been on ones that last longer, but I'm not playing every night. But that was probably one of the best ones I've been on.
Right, I can probably say this right now. I'm here in Studio 4, and not only do we have the thinnest walls of any studio, we have the windows wide open with the trucks and stuff going by, but we are keeping it real here, so don't worry about that. Anyway, you know what though, man? I was gonna say before you played, I might close the windows just to.
Okay.
You feel like putting together some music, man?
Yeah, sure, man.
All right, so you were saying you were in spring.
Yeah, so I do the songwriter thing in spring every other Wednesday, where I bring songwriters in, whether they're brand new or veterans, and we kind of bounce ideas off each other. And a buddy of mine asked me to write a song about veteran life. And I was like, well, I could do that. I do that every day. So this was my take on, after being in the service, being a combat veteran, and kind of putting together what it's like now, I guess.
Right on. What's the name of this song?
Fortunate Frown.
All right.
Fortunate Frown. Just whenever y'all are ready. Shackle me down to your hospital bed, and feed me with lies and your government meds. The glow of a street fight still fresh in my head. It's been 13 years, I still wish I was dead. There's a white hall with 10 rooms, and each one is filled with a man left confused. And he still wonders why society is blind. Yeah, he's just a prisoner in his own mind. Well, he's just a prisoner in his own mind. And irritability, are you here to stay? 'Cause every blue sky I perceive it as gray. And I feel haunted, but it's not by ghost. And I hated that life, but I miss it the most. And I'm drowning in my skin. Right brain, left brain, won't you let me in? And if I was silent, well, I couldn't be loud. Yeah, I'm one of the few, I ain't one of the proud. I'm one of the few, I ain't one of the proud. My angry demise precedes me today. And they can't fix my problems down at the VA. They got a doctor with a story that's unlike my own. Gave me a hotline to call from my cellular phone. So solitude forever's my peace. A mountain to climb with no cars in the street. So lay all your medicine down. There is no cure for my fortunate frown. There is no cure for my fortunate frown. So shackle me down to your hospital bed. And feed me with lies and your government meds.
Yeah. Wow. Hey man, that's really impressive.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
That felt really good to sit right next. That was powerful, man. Sit right next to her, getting to watch that go.
Thanks,
that's
man.
big. Yeah, that was good energy.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Tell me about that song, man. I mean, that's just, that's not just some bebop stuff, man. There's some material there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I try to, when I think about songwriting, I think about, if I'm really going to do this, I don't want to put some bullshit out there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I want to put something out there that's going to make a difference in somebody's life or try to make some sort of impact, because long after I'm dead and gone, people are still going to be looking this up.
Sure.
And they're going to see this, they're going to see all kinds of stuff, and I want it to make some sort of impact on somebody, because otherwise I'm doing this shit for nothing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You feel like you're kind of putting out some truth, maybe that your truth to these historic events.
Yeah, man. And I think that that might not mean the same thing to another person that means to me, but I think they can still, maybe relate to it, or maybe relate to like the issues that are going on, or even if the song's happy, that one's not so happy. It's sort of serious, but I just want people to, get a good message out of it and make them feel something, whether it's good or bad.
Sure. I turned 50 in a few months, and a whole lot of friends that I graduated with we're all kind of turning 50, and we're kind of looking at my generation has been at war for a lot of years, man. Some of my good friends walked right out of high school and walked right into the sandbox, if you will.
Yeah.
And a lot of them stuck around for a long time, but as you get older, you start to look at veterans issues differently. It's not just can I get a new truck when my tour's over or whatever, but it's, man, there's some other stuff. Anyway, I was just, these things that, do you have a lot of people when you're on tour coming up and talking to you about this?
Yeah, man, I do. Especially, and some people that are diehard, whatever side they're on. They don't understand why I'm singing about that.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I explain it to them, they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense."
Sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people come up to me and ask me about stuff like that, or they're like, "Did you write that?" Yeah, I wrote it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what I obviously see what would have been the I don't know, the origin or the genesis of that particular song. But what types of subject matter move you, and what types of things get you in the mood to write, or what strikes you?
Man, just anything that that is an issue that probably needs to be talked about, or whether it's that or like making somebody feel good. You know, I try to write happy songs a lot, but I think I take more from the negative things that have happened in my life and try to turn them into a positive.
When did you know you were going to be a musician songwriter?
Dude, I didn't. Man, I got out of the service and I went to school down there at Texas State, and I was working on a ranch down there, and all my friends were musicians, every one of them. So they would come over and like we'd sit on the back porch and drink, and they would play songs. And one day a guy left a guitar there, and I knew some chords or whatever, so I wrote a song that day, and he came back to get it, and I was like, "Dude, check this out." And he's like, "You want to play that tonight?" Sure, why not? So I did, man. Everybody was like, "Holy shit, man." So I just kept writing songs, and I was 24 when that happened.
So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding right. You'd never really performed a song before. You'd never written a song before. You borrowed a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the back porch somewhere in the middle of this thing, and Dude comes back to pick up his guitar.
Yeah.
And you say, "Hey, never written a song," and then he says, "Would you like to play the song the first one that you've written on the guitar you borrowed?"
Yeah, because he had a gig that night, and I said, "Yeah, man, sure."
Wow.
I'll play it.
So how'd that go? Was that terrifying?
No, not really. I've never really. It's never been a problem for me, man. I've never been afraid to get up there, or never had any kind of stage fright.
Okay.
It's never never bothered me.
Well, I mean, were you a pretty good guitar player at this point?
No, I'm still not a good guitar player.
Oh, okay, all right, gotcha. Okay, I guess that's all like relative. Okay, but I can only imagine that if I borrowed and I couldn't even imagine writing a song, but somebody asked me to play a guitar and sing it, that would be.
I've been hanging around those guys for a second, and like I saw what they were doing, and I figured, I can do this, and and I mean, those guys they're still working on their craft or whatever, but they're still in the same place, and like I don't know what happened with me, but I just kept on doing it, man, and it just.
So what happened? So you go and you play your song, and how'd they do, and what your response, and how'd you feel?
I felt good, man. Everybody that was there were friends, and they were, they were like, "Hey, man, that was really good. Got any more?" And I said, "No, I don't know anything." So then I was like, "Oh shit! Well, I better get a guitar." And
I better. You felt compulsed to get a guitar. You felt like something you needed to do.
I felt really good. I was in a real kind of screwed up state of mind back then.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So great. You're 25 years old, and you realize that you've just found something you might like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess you were just hanging out with these cats, and you had a good tutelage from a lot of songwriter type guys. And
yeah, I did. I just was in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Not a bad place to be.
No.
So you go on. You start writing songs. You probably get a collection of songs going.
Yeah. I've written a bunch of songs now, and getting ready to put out like my first actual real album that I'm kind of pushing out there, you know.
I want to get to that after one question, man. So this is interesting. So I think most people probably wind up playing and writing before they ever think they're actually going to perform. Mm-hmm. But you kind of had like from the jump. I mean, you were making. I mean, you were around songwriters,
yeah,
which probably gave you access to some stages, at least a warm up.
Yeah.
And you knew from the beginning, from the time you wrote your first song and borrowed a guitar to do it, that I'm about to perform.
Yeah, and it's funny because one of the guys, he plays with a band called Midnight River Choir. He just stopped. But his name's Mitchell Pye. He was one of the first guys I met. He's a drummer. And I told him I was going to do that. I was like, man, I'm fixing to quit my job. Or I was already been writing songs for a while, but when I first started doing it, I was like, I think I'm just going to write a bunch of songs and do what y'all did. And he kind of laughed at me. And we were talking about it not too long ago, and he's like, man, you're like, a lot of people say that, but you're the only person I know that actually really did it.
Just dropped out and chased the dream.
Yeah.
Let your full-time gig know you quit?
Yeah, I did. After doing it for a while, and after I graduated school, I kind of like gigged here and there. In between that time, I started writing songs until I had like actually enough to go play. But I never did like go out there and just play cover songs. I would always like make sure I had enough of my own stuff to like. I might play a cover or two, but I'll make sure I had enough stuff of my own material that I could play a full gig.
Right on. So you were saying that in this time, I find this amazing that you kind of said, man, I feel this thing, man. Okay, so in this time, you collected some songs, and now you said you just put an album together that you're pushing.
Yeah.
Tell me about the album. Tell me about getting the album put together, and what does that mean? Because I don't even know what the right questions to ask. And then maybe tell what the name it is, and that.
So I wanted to do something different than everybody else does when I decided I wanted to put out my first album. Since I've written so many songs, I decided to do a double album, which turned into a quadruple album because the band did the songs as well. So we didn't know how to do it in the studio. We were kind of like trying to figure it out. And there's only been one other person I know of to put out a record live from the Old Quarter, and it's Towns Van Zandt. So I've been playing at the Old Quarter for a while, and I got in touch with them and asked
really quick, when you say the Old Quarter, tell me.
It's in Galveston.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got in touch with them, and I asked them if I could do a live from the Old Quarter record. So last year during February, about this time last year, during the Mardi Gras, we went down there. A bunch of us rented a house. It was Frank Sinatra's old house.
Really?
Yeah, and we stayed down there. It was right as the parade came through in Mardi Gras, and we did live at the Old Quarter. We had 2 nights there. I did 28 original songs, and I did 1 cover by a guy named Boles.
28 original songs.
And the band did that as well. So the nights we played, I would play a set, and the band would play a set.
Mm-hmm.
The next night we did the same thing. So it's all a matter of like getting the money together, getting the production together to finish the record. So that's where I'm at now with it.
So what was it like as far as going down there and actually, and I know you stayed with the guys in the house, but actually performing in front of the crowd and knowing that you're recording? Is that a pretty heady experience?
I mean, I just did it like any other show. I wanted it to be a surreal thing. I didn't want it to be like any kind of cookie cutter shit. So I wanted it to be like, hey, this is what you're gonna get when you come to see me. This is my first thing I'm putting out. So like, if you don't like it, then maybe you're not gonna like it. You know what I mean, man?
That's pretty interesting. I mean, because you seem rather fearless when it comes to like this. I think now I'll be a musician.
Yeah.
Used to do something else, but now I bought a guitar. I think I'm going to change course here.
I think like I was a professional bull rider, so I've been on that bigger stage. You know what I mean?
All right, let's talk about that. I mean, okay. Well, so you, all right, you rode bulls.
Yeah. My entire life.
That's authentic Texas sort of stuff there, man.
Yeah, I mean, I did it my entire life, man. That's how I grew up. And then when I got out of service, I went to college doing it. Did it professionally, did pretty good. Of course, I got hurt, so
Yeah.
there was it's just a matter of if and when with that kind of stuff, you know. So I was trying to figure out like what I could do to keep traveling and not really have to work a 9 to 5.
you kind of got addicted to that rodeo life, and you're going, if I can't ride bulls, damn, maybe I can do something similar.
Well, I've always at some certain point have had like, you know, I worked on ranches in Colorado and here and there, and then I had an actual like corporate job after I graduated college.
All right.
So I quit that to play music full time, and man, I wish I would have known that we don't make a lot of money. Well, we don't.
Oh, well, you're making it look cool. So look, so we're at the point where you have assembled a bunch of tunes, and you're putting together an album now.
Yeah.
So what's the album called? Or do we know yet?
Live at the Old Quarter.
Appropriately.
Yep.
So, anything you would like to? I'd love to hear you. Would you grace us with one more?
Yeah, I'll play you a song off that album.
That'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome.
It's about coming down off an acid trip.
Right on. Right on.
It's called Come Down. See the paper, it was aching, and these words aggravating in the mind of a tripped out troubadour. And I was coming down off an acid trip on some lonesome interstate when I saw 2 eagles flying. No, it seemed that they were with me to guide me through the misery of the downfall of the story of my life. Saying maybe one day you'll shed this monkey suit, fly way up into outer space, man. Maybe that's the day you'll be alright. See, I was hanging out at this bar about the Grateful Dead, and I was positively thinking, kinda taking it in, to let my soul unravel and let these true thoughts travel from my brain down to the tip of my pen. Oh, sweet magnolia, I'm going out on a limb, and if you kick me out of this world, make sure you leave the door unlocked, 'cause I don't have the key to get back in. See, this music takes me up to the Rocky Mountains, out to the rivers and sea, takes me way on up to New York City, and I will go anywhere the music calls me. See, in these psychedelic cosmic cowboy times, I've been standing too close to the edge, and many moons have passed now since you've been with me. Now I'm thinking about jumping right off the ledge. Oh, sweet magnolia, I'm going out on a limb, and if you kick me out of this world, make sure you leave the door unlocked, 'cause I don't have the key Appreciate it.
That was novel and like, oh man, I'm kind of feeling you. I was like, well, yeah.
Right on.
Oh, good stuff. So you're all over the. That was pretty. That was upbeat. That was a different world than the first one, man. A whole different thing. Hey, so this is impressive. So you're playing a couple instruments at one time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Good.
I mean, like in the sense of, was that pretty hard to learn to do?
Yeah.
I bet, man. I mean, it kind of seems like two people are pulling that off.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to like at least like learn something on all kinds of different instruments. That way I'm well rounded. That way when we're up there playing as a band, I can switch. You know.
That was pretty impressive.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So all right, I gotta ask, man. How long have you been playing the harmonica?
About as long as I've been playing the guitar, I guess. So.
Borrow one of those tubes, Thor?
No, I bought one.
Okay.
It's like using somebody else's underwear.
Yeah, that's a pretty personal instrument.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Should be a lot better than I am, but probably 9 years, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was very, very entertaining. That felt good. So we're talking about this album. So tell me about the album. What's the name of the album?
Live at the Old Port.
Live at the, okay. Yeah, we did that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and you're saying that you're hoping to get it out sometime this year, right?
Yeah. I'm fixing to start probably this week as soon as I can. I'm gonna launch a GoFundMe thing for the fans because man, it costs a lot of money to make an album.
Absolutely, I can imagine it would.
Yeah, so there'll be stuff on there for them. You know, they donate money and we'll give them something.
Sure. Well, hey, plug your site real quick, man. Is there a place if anybody wants?
I haven't set it up yet, man. But if anybody wants to listen to my music, they can go to Red Feather Tribe on Facebook, or
Gotcha.
Caleb Boles on Facebook, or Caleb Boles on Spotify or YouTube, or man, it's all over.
Gotcha. And you know what? I'll throw some links down at the bottom of the screen, and
Cool.
we'll be able to get people to set up towards that information. So, because I'd love people to be able to check your stuff out. So, what's next for Caleb, man? What happens from here?
So in the next couple of months, I'll be pretty much local. So the Houston, Texas area, probably
Sure.
maybe Oklahoma and Arkansas.
Feel good to be home for a little while?
Yeah, and then probably into May, starting of June, we're going to do a whole West Coast run, all the way up to probably Washington. I think we're going to go Montana, Oregon, Colorado, California.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we'll be back for a few months and try to make it to Europe, man.
No kidding.
That's the goal by the end of this year, to like be playing in Europe. So.
That's pretty stellar for a guy. And so how long ago was it that you wrote that first song? I mean, you said you're 25. I didn't ask you how old you are now, but
I'm 34 now. Well, I'll turn 34 next week.
So in 9 years,
yeah,
you've gone from borrowing a guitar to have your sights set on going and playing in Europe.
Yeah.
Just did the East Coast. Dude, good on you, man.
Thanks, man.
Think about like picking a goal and going at it.
I mean, man, everything. I'm pretty well on. When I figured out that I'm never going to be a world champion board rider, that was my goal my entire life. And I was pretty hardcore at it, man, and I did fairly well. But when I realized, that's not going to be, that's not my path, and I've been given this gift for another one, man. So like, I want to be the best at it that I can possibly be. It's not a competition with any other person.
Yeah.
But it's within myself, you know what I mean? So.
Sure. So it's got to be pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
I would think, like, I mean, you're able to go out there and, I mean, just those two were great.
Thanks, man.
So what's it like? I mean, it seems like maybe, do you get addicted to the crowd, the roar of the crowd? Is that what happened in or is it not the 9-to-5 job and just the roar of the crowd is like secondary?
On that Christmas thing, there wasn't hardly anybody in
right.
there, but everyone in there was paying attention. So there could be 100 people in there, and they're all paying attention, or there could be 3 people in there. It really doesn't matter. Question.
Okay, so I have a question. What is it like? I mean, is it very different? I mean, for you as a musician and like just set a room where there's just 3 of us in this room besides yourself, as opposed to like setting in a big crowd. What's the feelings as the artist? Are they different?
Yeah, they're totally different. Lots of times when it's 3 people, I have to like make myself get into okay, like there's 3 people in here, but they're listening.
Mm-hmm.
so there's no point in me like screwing off or like I have a job to do, you know.
Gotcha.
When I was younger doing this, I didn't think that way, but after like being in it for a little bit and realizing like what it takes to actually like move on with it, you know.
Sure.
Like, you got to be a little bit more professional. And then man, when there's a big crowd, it's great.
Yeah, it just feels the crazy. So you love the crowd.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely. So, do you feel like that you're still, the guys that you were saying that the early influences that got you going and even lent you a guitar and gave you a stage to stand on and all that? Do you still look up to those guys as influences, or who are your influences these days?
Man, I wouldn't. Those guys maybe influenced me to like get started playing music, and not because they're terrible or anything like that. Like they're good, but I thought that like I could do that. You know what I mean? I can do that. And those guys are still friends of mine, man. We're friends.
Absolutely.
But as far as influences, man, I've been digging on music for a long time. I've always been in music with a wide variety of stuff since I was a kid. Especially even rodeo and being on the road, you know. You don't want to hear the other person, you're on the road all the time, so you're going to keep changing the station. The only thing I wouldn't say that influences me is probably like country, like the newer type of country music.
Sure. What? So wait, but you didn't really feel musical growing up. You want to be a bull rider.
I mean, I always was just digging on the music, but yeah, I mean, I grew up that way.
But but it was one thing to have a great stereo. I mean, I know how to play my radio.
Yeah.
But as far as like playing an
instrument, I would always seek out things that weren't on the radio. You know what I mean? I would seek out underground type stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Whether it was rap or grunge music, or old school country, or
gotcha.
The Grateful Dead tapes.
Yeah,
I always just dig on that. So.
Sure. Well, listen, man. So I am. So you got you're taking a quick break. So it's mid-February. You're taking a quick break, and then after about a month and a half, man, you're about to get this party started again and headed out west.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so that is really okay. So I would love to two things. One is sometime I would like to know how that tour goes, man. Maybe off like late summer, man. If you're back this way,
yeah.
I would. But I want. Would I be pushing to pressure you for one more song?
No, man. I'll play another one.
The first two were so awesome. I don't know how if you came ready to play three or not, but I feel like I want to try to squeeze it out of you since I got you sitting here with the guitar.
I'll play another one.
Whatever you're feeling, man.
I'll play one of the Just Drove. I don't think many people have heard this one yet.
Yeah. What's it called?
Coyotes Cry.
Cool.
It's more of like a cowboy song to me.
I like it.
Weary I am as I see my reflection in the haunted gray waters where the cypress knees grow. For the darkening hour, hills protruding upon us may it only be brightened by the red comet's glow. Round and round, it triggers me deeply as we are living in these uncharted times. You may fix bayonets to kill off your enemies, but it never shall pierce through this cold heart of mine. If I keep on pushing, then maybe the next day it will rebirth the dawning of a young cowboy's name. For middle cymbal she still sings in the distance, as we drive up the yearlings from the Elk Mountain Range. And I've seen nature in its essence, watched a red tail as she flies. No matter how much you may try and love her, nothing else matters when the coyotes cry. So join me now as we embark the journey of the earth that we live in and how it came to be. And how 100 years later there's still blood on the bridle, and one man's life is another man's dream. As I feed the hungry wolf now, one that emerges is me. And I still have a while now before I go under, and when I do, I will leave you these truths for to sing. I've seen nature in its essence, watched a red tail as she flies. No matter how much you may try and love her, nothing else matters when the coyotes cry. Now the cosmic rain is dancing. It's just a few more miles till we're home. But the cougar and the grizzly, they pray in the distance, and the cattle have all turned to stone. And I've seen nature in its essence, watched a red tail as she flies. And no matter how much you may try and love her, nothing else matters when the coyotes cry. No matter how much you may try and love her, nothing else matters when the coyotes cry.
Dude, I feel like I have a real blessing to have this seat. That was pretty incredible.
Thanks, dude.
And from a guy who has zero musical talent, it gets kind of heady to sit that close to something, you know? It's kind of like going off, you know?
Cool.
Hey, Caleb Boles in Studio 4, man. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, so if someone was going to try to come out and see you, when's the next time you'll be around in the area? Where can they find you if they want to check you out one night?
Man, they could come out tomorrow night.
Yeah? Where would they find you tomorrow?
I am doing the songwriter thing at Franklin's Tower tomorrow night.
Say exactly where.
Franklin's Tower, Spring, Texas, 8, 9-ish. I'm doing it on the second story. Yeah, come out there. $1.50 Zinc box, $2 wills.
There you go, guys. You heard it from the man. Hey, brother. Thank you for joining us on The Air with Eric Thompson and being in the studio for. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Yes, sir. So, hey, we broke some new ground. I feel kind of blessed. That was exciting for me. I don't normally that doesn't happen around here very much. I can't wait to see how this goes. All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot. If you like this kind of action, be sure and like and subscribe. Also, I just learned something new. there's a red bell that if you'll click that bad boy, you'll actually find out when new stuff comes out on my channel. I'm learning. I'm kind of learning to. I'm building this rocket ship while I'm learning to fly it. Anyway, until next time, I sure appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, and a special thanks, Mario Gary. I really appreciate you being a post-production techno ninja. So thanks a lot, man. I appreciate your help, and I couldn't do it without you.